We're recording. Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. It's the middle of the week. It's the last day of March. Can you believe it? You like this hair? The bigger the hair, the closer to God, baby. Here we go. We are continuing our reading of U Squared by Price Pritchett, a high velocity formula for multiplying your personal effectiveness in quantum leaps. Let's skip levels together, my friends. We are on suspend disbelief. Let me get my screen up here. Here we go. Suspend disbelief. Act as if your success is for certain. Instead of holding back because you don't have hard proof that you can make a quantum leap, see if you end up with evidence proving you can't. Just make the jump. Act as if your success is guaranteed, and then see which set of ideas you should believe in. We don't know until we try. I've said this before. When people told me before, when I was younger, just take the leap, then it will appear. I thought, you're an idiot. I come from practical, rational, logical people who don't do stupid things. Well, that only got me the same results. And it wasn't until I did take that leap. I was free flying for a long time with no parachute, and it was the scariest thing I've ever experienced. But the chute does appear. But it takes that constant belief and faith in yourself and taking action, and it's being uncomfortable. We can do it. Your mindset for the moment may be flawed by doubt and skepticism. The idea of making a quantum leap in your performance, jumping from your present level of achievement to one several stages higher in one bold stroke, is an alien idea. You haven't been trained to think that way. No, we have not. You may have definite reservations about the possibility that you can make such exponential improvement at all, particularly with less effort and in a very abbreviated time frame. The experts generally agree, though, that people typically use only about 10% of their true potential. If we accept that argument, and even if there were no other resources outside yourself that you could bring to bear on the situation, you still could do 10 times as well as you've been doing. Your skepticism, which you presume is based on rational thinking and an objective assessment of factual data about yourself, is rooted in mental junk. This is that early programming we talk about when we're younger. How many negative, pessimistic, Debbie Downer thoughts? I'm eating chocolate. Don't judge me. This is what we think is so factual. Our thinking is rooted in mental junk. Your doubts are not the product of accurate thinking, but habitual thinking. Early programming. Years ago, you accepted flawed conclusions as correct, began to live your life as if those warped ideas about your potential were true, and ceased the bold experiment in living that brought you many breakthrough behaviors as a child. Now it's time for you to find that faith you had in yourself before. I'm going to read that again. Listen up. Your skepticism, which you presume is based on rational thinking and an objective assessment of factual data about yourself, is rooted in mental junk. Your doubts are not the product of accurate thinking, but habitual thinking. Years ago, you accepted flawed conclusions as correct, began to live your life as if those warped ideas about your potential were true, and ceased the bold experiment in living that brought you many breakthrough behaviors as a child. Now it's time for you to find that faith you had in yourself before. If you want to be skeptical of some ideas that truly deserve to be called into question, challenge the thoughts and beliefs that have argued against your taking a quantum leap. Put those old inhibiting ideas to the test by going for it with everything you've got. For right now, just suspend disbelief. You don't have to be convinced that you can succeed in making a quantum leap, but don't keep on believing those old ideas you've been carrying around about your personal limits. If it will make it easier, hold off for a while on believing anything. Just act like you have a complete faith. Just act like you have complete faith. Merely do what you'd do if you knew you were going to succeed. Behave like you have the total conviction. Doubt is what does the most damage. So don't give it any mental space. Proceed boldly, as if it is completely inconceivable that you will experience anything other than a successful quantum leap. If you must doubt something, doubt your limits. Whew. It's a good one. Next chapter. Focus on ends rather than means. You don't have to know where you're going. Okay, it's late. Let's start again, Carla. Focus on ends rather than means. You don't have to know how you're going to get there, but you need to know where you want to go. It is crucial to have a crystal clear picture of what you want to accomplish. Operate with a sharply defined mental image of the outcome you seek. I've talked about this before. You have to have a plan. When you set sea, we're all on the ocean. And when you set sea, you have to have a plan, a map of where you're going. It might not be your final destination, the big Mount Everest of your grandest dreams, but it could be an island that's a step closer to that dream. You can't just set sail with no destination. You have to know where you're going, even if it's just to the next step. That's why it's important to have incremental goals towards your big dream. So it is crucial to have a crystal clear picture of what you want to accomplish. Operate with a sharply defined mental image of the outcome you seek. Rivet your attention on that spot where you are to land at the end of your quantum leap. Visualize your arrival. When you do that, it's like you magnetize yourself to the ways and means involved in the methodology for getting there. The solutions begin to appear. Answers come to you. Have you ever been thrown in a situation where you had no choice? You start thinking real quick. You can start thinking on your feet when you have no choice, when you burn all the boats. But we never take that leap. We never burn all the boats because we want to hold on to safety and comfort, and then we're never bold. If you start worrying about everything that will be involved in getting from here to there, you are bound to bog down in the questions about methodology. People always get hung up on the how-to aspects regarding a quantum leap. Skip it. The answers will come to you. And when they do, you probably will find them to be simple, streamlined solutions. See, a quantum leap is a move you're already prepared to make. A quantum leap is a move you're already prepared to make. You just haven't done it yet. You have the potential. The resources are available. The opportunity is there. What has been missing is your decision to go for it. Burning the boats. I've said it in another previous Citadel reading. I think in the first week I did this about the power of decision. If you haven't seen that little chat I had, it was, I think, week 2 on decision from Think and Grow Rich. In the beginning of these, if you scroll down through the videos, my message on decision, the word decide, the ending of the word decide, CIDE, means to cut off and to kill. Some of you may already know this. Other words: homicide, to kill a person; suicide, to kill oneself; pesticide, insecticide, to kill insects; to cut off, decide, to cut off any other option. Nothing happens until we decide, till we make a decision, because if we don't decide and cut off all of the options, we still mess around and entertain other ideas and we don't go for it. So you have the potential, the resources are available, the opportunity is there. What has been missing is your decision to go for it. Maybe this will help you frame the situation a lot better. The quantum leap is something you've been keeping from happening. It's not something you have to struggle to make happen. You don't really force it into existence, you just let it occur. Surrender. The key is not to get in the way. A quantum leap is the unexpected that comes to you with sudden grace. You can open yourself to such a breakthrough. You can even invite it, but you can't make it happen by struggling harder or insisting on first developing the perfect plan. How many of us have procrastinated and waited for the perfect timing, the perfect plan? I'm not ready. This here, the Citadel. I wasn't ready. I didn't even have Facebook. Hello. You just got to do it. U squared is achieved through an intuitive, instinctive discovery process based on a sense of direction and pursuit. If you have the answers in structure and certainty up front, it's not a quantum leap. The formula does not involve getting everything neatly organized and all the risks eliminated before you make your move. There's an element of hip shooting involved here. Don't count on having all the procedural issues for the journey buttoned down before you begin the trip. You must be willing to tolerate ambiguity, confusion, possibly even chaos for a while, shaping your game plan as you go. Allow some disorder in your life. Let me just tell you what I just read. That's what everybody's going through. I talked to a lot of people today. People have fear. People are worried. People have anxiety around the uncertainty. Everybody wants answers. And normally in everyday life pre-pandemic, our lives were busy. We had social lives. We had a lot of static to distract us from feeling or being aware of things that aren't right. We all were forced inside. I say inside, literally indoors, but inside ourselves. We could hear that voice, that stirring. And it's scary sometimes. It's the voice you don't want to hear. It's something you know you have to do, but you don't want to do it. Or you notice that there's stuff going on in this relationship or this situation. You're not happy with something and you have to address it because it's loud now, because you don't have the everything drowning out the truth, that still small voice. All of a sudden you can hear it. And this is the thing. People want certainty. People don't like confusion, chaos, ambiguity. They want answers. We want to be certain. We want a guarantee. Before you take a leap, you want a guarantee. That's not how it works. I used to hear that all the time, be like, oh my God, those people, they take the leap. How cool. Thinking that they were special, that they had something I didn't. Oh no, we all can do it. It's just, there's no coincidence that those people rocket up to high levels, because with a huge risk is huge reward. When you really take that leap, burn all those boats, it's not for the faint of heart. A lot of people can't do it. It's hard. I wanted to throw up for like 3 weeks straight. It's bad, but it's good. It's so good. So you must be willing to tolerate ambiguity, confusion, possibly even chaos for a while, shaping your game plan as you go. Allow some disorder in your life. So if you know maybe you are okay, you've gotten to have a good relationship with change, with uncertainty, with ambiguity, taking risks, you probably thrived during the pandemic. Those people that haven't got this muscle, they're not cool with ambiguity, chaos, or the unknown. They've really, really unraveled during this time of uncertainty because they can't handle it. They never worked that muscle, so they were weak. So they couldn't carry any weight that came their way. If you get too concerned with the step-by-step plan of action to be followed, you'll find yourself brooding over the potential problems and roadblocks that could be encountered. For now, all you need is an aiming point and action. A quantum leap, by definition, means moving into uncharted territory with no guide to follow. A quantum leap by definition means moving into uncharted territory with no guide to follow. That's what they say when, the herd of people, 98% are walking on the path, the well-worn path, and the two people go in the tall grass. Follow the two people. Hi, Aaron. Yeah, follow the two people. For now, all you need is an aiming point in action. A quantum leap, by definition, means moving into uncharted territory with no guide to follow. You personally draw the map as you go. Look at it this way. You're not supposed to be concerned about what happens in the middle of a jump. You're supposed to be thinking about where you're going to land. Ain't that the truth? Okay, we'll do one more. Rely on the unseen forces. Improving your performance by an order of magnitude, U squared, can sound unrealistic if you think of it as something you have to do all by yourself. But you don't. Forget the idea that you should be able to see tangibly and in full view all the resources necessary to leverage your performance so dramatically. There are resources you can access that cannot be seen, and they are far greater and more powerful than the resources you might readily observe. Absence of evidence is not evidence of their absence. I'm going to tattoo this on my forehead. Listen. Absence of evidence is not evidence of their absence. This is what we struggle with. The great fight between human beings, us, in ourselves, and with the world, is that struggle and that battle between the logical mind, the seen, what we can make sense of, and the unseen, the stuff we can't prove. And we can get real pissed sometimes. We want that proof. We want that evidence. But we just know that there's stuff we don't know, that there's forces at work that we haven't tapped into yet. And I just don't understand people who think that or aren't even open to that. I get it. I guess faith is a muscle too. If your faith muscle's weak, your bandwidth can't handle ideas that are out of your realm, your scope of understanding. So absence of evidence is not evidence of their absence. Think of an iceberg where you only see the tip of what's really there. Just as real, though out of sight, are invisible resources ready to make a profound difference in what you can achieve. All you have to do is open up and let them in. Quantum leaps are merely the process of using yourself and your world differently, thus allowing other possibilities that exist to actually materialize. Your willingness to make a quantum leap is the enabler. You do not achieve your dreams, your full potential, through your own singular struggle. As mentioned earlier, neither raw effort nor sheer willpower is the answer. Try as hard as you can, will fall far short of taking you as far as you are capable of going. You must take advantage of the support systems you can't see. In a sense, making the quantum leap is like playing bridge. You don't bid your hand alone. Your bidding is also based on the power of your partner's cards. You don't really get to see those cards until it's time to play them, but you can trust that they will bring valuable strength to your own hand. The unseen forces are phantom powers that cannot be fully explained. Maybe they strike you as rather mystical phenomena, but the truth is they will make amazing contributions to your efforts. These unseen forces seem to operate through your subconscious mind, mental imagery, intuition, and luck. You might be hit with a flash of inspiration during a moment of solitude. A creative solution to a problem may come to you in a dream. A breakthrough idea can flash through your mind while you're visualizing your goal. We've talked about this with Napoleon Hill, talks about this in Think and Grow Rich. When we get that intuitive hit, those intellectual factors, the sixth sense, you know when you get that hit to do something, to take action, but we don't breathe life into it, and then it just falls away. You got to pay attention to those hits. Somehow, the resources you need just seem to appear by coincidence. Paint a vivid picture in your mind for these forces to know precisely what you want. Remember, we think in images. And like the whole movie theater or even the photography metaphor, when you have film in front of the light, remember the light is our mind and then our thoughts are the film that gets projected onto the screen. You can't have two different movies playing at the same time. It would be total chaos on that screen because the light is just going to project what's here. If you had two photos on top of each other, it's going to be a very distorted image. You won't be able to see clearly one or the other. You have to just focus on one thing, hold that in your mind, be very precise and specific of the image you hold in your mind. That's what's going to come forth and be expressed. Remember, what you impress, you express. You can't impress two images at the same time. You got to be very specific. Paint a vivid picture in your mind for these forces to know precisely what you want. In one way or another, the unseen forces will dazzle you with their impact. Count on it. Quantum leaps come easy when you plug into this remarkable power source. You don't have to understand it totally in order to use it, just as you don't have to comprehend the intricate physics of energy to flip a lamp switch and flood the room with light. Let me read that again. Quantum leaps come easy when you plug into this remarkable power source. You don't have to understand it totally in order to use it, just as you don't have to comprehend the intricate physics of energy to flip a lamp switch and flood the room with light, right? I don't know how electricity works. I just use it. And I don't care if I know how it works. I just use it. I guess what he's saying now, tapping into these sources, I don't know what that is going on or what you want to call it, but it's there. I'm going to use it. When you focus constantly on a clear picture of what you want to accomplish and move toward it confidently, the unseen forces will rally to your support. These unknowns, these invisible resources, are the most powerful factors available to assist you in making the quantum leap to U squared. I love this. Price Pritchett. We have 2 more days of this and we will have read the whole book. As always, I appreciate your love and support. I actually had I was in my masterclass today with Bob Proctor, and I asked him a question about Neville, the stuff we were reading about your faith is your fortune. And I have my little video clip of me asking him the question. Actually, it was yesterday. I'll post it here. And it has to do with this. It has to do with this reading, just this past little chapter of believe in the unseen, or the unseen forces that help us, like the infinite intelligence, that power that is when we hand it over, like in my little ditty we always do here, this is our conscious thinking mind. We choose what goes in here. This is the God, the universal intelligence, that the power takes over. Yeah, I'll post it here right now so you guys can enjoy that. Yeah, my question with him. Actually, I will watch it here with you guys and then I'll post it separate. Let's share my screen, shall we? Yeah, because I had a question myself of, how do we know when we co-create? It's like,
all right.
Oh, here we go.
First up is Carla. Carla, I have just unmuted you. Thank you, Mikey.
Oh, here we go. All right, let's do this, people. All right, sharing my screen now with y'all. Sharing my screen. Let's do optimize, share. Where are we? Over here. Here we go.
All right. First up is Carla. Carla, I have just unmuted you.
Thank you, Mikey. Hi, Bob. How are you?
I'm doing great, Carla. How are you?
Wonderful. Thank you.
Good.
I was having a wonderful discussion with my great group, and we were on, I've been reading a lot of Neville and Your Faith is Your Fortune.
Sure.
And I would love to hear your thoughts about, the Father and I are one, but the Father is greater than I. And when my paradigms are screaming, how do I, settle that voice down of like, well, we're co-creating. Where do I stop and God start?
When my
it's like, but I know we're one. So help me, how do you conceptualize that co-creation relationship? And sometimes when I feel like, am I all alone here? Like, throw me a bone. I feel fear. That's fear. So how do I discern and put myself in the right place and mindset when that fear overcomes me of like, am I co-creating enough? Am I doing enough? Like, is there a divide where I stop and that starts?
That's a good question. Put the screen up, Scott. Watch. You are an individualized expression of an infinite power we refer to as God. You can take this power that's flowing into you, it just is. You can make anything out of it you want. Whatever you ask for, you're going to get. Now, you can look at that side of life, or you can look at that. The truth is, everything just is. We make it good or bad. When you get an idea, you turn the idea over to the God within. Now look at, we mentioned earlier that this is universal intelligence. You choose in your consciousness. Here, you choose. This part of you is where the action is. God does all the work. You make the choice, God does the job. With and through you. Now, whatever you choose, if you choose to think bad thoughts about someone else, you move into a bad vibration. You set up a bad action, you set up a bad reaction, and of course your results are going to be the same. Now, you can blame the other person, you can blame them, well, they did this. It doesn't matter what they did. It doesn't matter what they said. You choose. Spirit within, the inner God does the work with and through you. Okay, now put it back up.
With the stick figure, just simply stating the top part's me, the bottom part's infinite intelligence.
That's right, but that's within you. It's not on the outside, it's inside too. Everything's an expression of the same thing. We have, though, these higher faculties. You've got perception, the will, reason, imagination, memory, and intuition. And they're all here, these higher faculties, in the conscious mind. We're the only form of life that has that. All the other little creatures out there, they're an expression of God too. They don't have the capacity to choose. They operate by instinct, which is perfect. We had instinct removed and all these faculties put in their place. And through the use of these, we can create anything we want, and we do. The problem is, when the results aren't very good, we want to blame somebody else. We don't want to take it on ourselves. We say, well, she upset me. Oh, is that right? Why don't you say, I chose to let her upset me. I chose to let him upset me. You're doing it yourself all the time. Whatever you think. If you want to let a condition, a circumstance, or a situation upset you, go ahead. When they come into your consciousness, you have the ability to reject all that. Everything that happens, we attract and we create. We create our own life. God will give you whatever you ask. Whatever you ask for, you're going to get.
Thank you so much, Bob.
Good.
Next is Susan.
So good.
Yes, thank you.
All right. Let me shut that off. There we go. How good was that, you guys? I loved that. I loved all of it. That was a question that was on my mind. Sometimes when I get, we're all in this and we talk about, I believe in God, and I truly believe that God works through me. And, I want to be of highest service to the world, and I don't want to get in my own way, just like Price Pritchett was talking about. So where does this co-creation, where's that line? Where do we start in God's, where do we stop and God starts? What's this co-creation? How much of work am I supposed to put in? How much work? It's like, what's the balance? And I think rewatch that answer. And like I said, I'll post it separate. Such a good answer. I loved it. So I hope you enjoyed that. Tehran, Always a pleasure. And Aaron, see you guys tomorrow. Have a wonderful Wednesday night.